So session 2. In this session, we will be discussing about the 7 criteria based on which the marks are given by the NAAC inspection team as well as the NAAC office team, which is going to verify the quantitative data that we provide. So these 7 criteria decide the marks that we score. So the higher you score, the better is your grade. And the higher you can score only if your answers are perfect and good, along with the supporting documents. So what are the 7 criteria? What are these key indicators? And what is this L and QN, that is qualitative and quantitative metrics? So that we are going to have a detailed study in this session. So continuing, this is the this is the extended profile of an institution. So before filling up, this is a part of your SSR. So in this extended profile, these are the quantitative data that we have to provide. So the first question, and when we say 1.1, it means criteria number 1. As you can see, the next question is 2.1, criteria number 2, under which you have 3 data that is to be given. And under criteria number 3, you have 2 data. And criteria number 4, you have again 3 more data that is to be given. These are the data that you have to provide under this extended profile of an institution. So the first one, you have to provide the number of courses offered by the institution across all the programs during the last 5 years. So as we discussed during the session 1, here they are asking you the number of courses, which roughly translating means the number of subjects that have been offered by the institution across all the programs. Now, only those institutions who have the academic autonomy, who have the complete freedom to revise, to edit, update, or change their curriculum or syllabus, only those institutions have full freedom and they can alter their courses, and whenever there is a slight change also they consider that as a new course, as a revised, and the numbers will get altered when they are entering the data. Whereas in the case of institutions which are offering the programs in which the syllabus is being strictly laid as per the laid down guidelines of the statutory councils, like say for example in the case of medical programs, dental programs, where the regulatory authority, the Medical Council of India or the Dental Council of India, are very specific upon the curriculum and syllabus. You can't do much about the courses that you offer as a part of the curriculum. So there cannot be much change, and even if there is any change, it has to be with the corresponding approval from that regulatory authority. So in question number 1.1, we will be entering the number of courses offered by the institution. Say for example, if it's an arts college, you have BA English, BA Tamil, BA History, BA Hindi, BCom, BSc, so many programs, and under each program, for example in the case of BSc Mathematics, the number of subjects that a student studies, that's what we mean by the number of courses. So like this, for each program you have to identify the courses and then remove the common courses. There cannot be a repetition of the course. Like say for example, mathematics can be a subject which is studied both by BSc Math student and BSc Physics student. But if once the course title and the course code are same, then it cannot be counted 2 times. And for an MBA program, Reena Shah madam is asking for an MBA program affiliated to a university. Here again, once you are affiliated, then you can't do anything about the courses that is being offered as a part of the curriculum. So your course would purely be determined. The number of courses you offer, the syllabus would be purely determined by the affiliating university. So once you are an affiliated institution, not much can be done for point number 1.1. You have to enter the actual data as prescribed by the university. Moving on to number 2, number of year-wise students during the last 5 years. So here one common doubt that may arise is, sir, how to enter the years, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 and year 5, whether I have to come in chronological order or whether I have to enter the data backwards. If you are having doubts like that, what we strongly recommend is in the year column, you give very specific answers like 2021, 29, 20, 2021, 19, 20, 18, 19, 17, 18, 16, 17. Like that, if you can specify the academic year clearly, then the confusion would be sorted out. Because this is another thing where people get confused, because as the departments are providing data, they simply specify year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In which case, some of the departments may give the data starting in chronological order, while some departments may go in reverse chronological order. In order to avoid this confusion, if you can specify the year, the academic year explicitly, then this confusion can be sorted out. Then, so 2.1 is completed. 2.2. Now, the reason why we say that the department should also be involved in this is that there may be some cases, because this data which you provide can also be collected from the office, from the central office or the admission office or the head of the institution. He will also be having this data. But the primary reason why we are saying that this data should also be cross-verified with the department. Here, Professor Arjit Gangopadhyay is asking, kindly repeat the difference again between course and the program. Sir, let me put it very simply. Course means the subject, whereas program means the degree. So MBA is a program, MTech is a program, MSc is a program, whereas the mathematics course that you study under, the subject that you study under that MSc Maths course is a subject. So I think that clears your doubt. And coming back to the 2.1, sorry, coming back to 2.1, as I was saying, the reason why we are asking to get this data from the department also is that so that there is no contrary data between the department and the central office and the head of the institution who is going to provide this data to NAAC. Now, this question may arise as to how can there be a controversy or how can there be a change in the number of students? Well, we have seen instances, because I was an assessor for NBA. I have worked as an assistant director in the National Board of Accreditation under the All India Council for Technical Education. As an assistant director, I have convened so many number of NBA visits, and I have gone through many NBA and NAAC profiles, wherein there have been instances wherein there has been discrepancies between the data given by the department and the central office. Like, say, for example, in a particular department in a course, a student would have taken TC and would have left the institution, and at the time of leaving the institution, midway of his program, before completing the program, you say, for example, if it's a 4 years program, before the completion in the 7th semester itself, he would have left the institution. So as he is leaving the institution, Dr. Dr. Johnson is saying questions at the end. Yes, please, definitely. I'll start answering the questions at the end, definitely. So if the student leaves at the 7th semester itself, in one institution, for example, what happened was a student has taken the TC. While taking the TC, obviously he should have got the dues, no dues cleared from the department. So when he got the no dues cleared from the department, his HOD, head of the department, was on vacation at that time, and the no due certificate was signed by the next person in charge of the department. Unfortunately, this data was not updated to the head of the head of the department when he joined back to duty. So when they had given the data was not tallying. That is the reason why we say that the data should be obtained from the department also for students and verified with the head of the institution with the centralized data collection office. And 2.2 says number of seats earmarked for reserve category. This would be as per rules. The departments don't have any say in that. Only thing is that the departments should also be knowing the split up in which the seats under their department are being earmarked to the students under the various categories. And 2.3 says number of outgoing final year students during the last 5 years. So here one doubt they are claiming is that is it the total students or passed out students? So as it very clearly says final year students. So if I say in this year 2019-20, if I'm entering the data in 1920, if it is a MBA course, number of students in the second year alone. And when I enter in the year column, when I enter 18-19, during that academic year, number of students in the second final year, that is the second year of the MBA program alone, only that should be entered. And the third criterion is the academic criterion, in which the questions asked are the number of full-time teachers year-wise during the last 5 years, and below that you have the number of sanctioned posts year-wise during the last 5 years. Now this is given to verify whether you have got all the sanctioned, whether there's all the sanctioned posts in your institutions have been filled up, or whether there are any shortage of faculty in your department. So this question, the data to this question will be answering that criteria. And in the fourth criteria regarding the institution, they are asking total number of classrooms with seminar halls, total expenditure excluding the salary year-wise during the last 5 years, and also the total number of computers available in your institution. So you have to enter the data for that. And these are the data that are required under the extended profile of the institution. So once this is done, we are moving on to the SSR. So as we said during the end of the first session, after the acceptance of the institutional information on quality assurance IIQA, NAAC will be sending an email saying that your IIQA has been approved and you are ready to fill up the self-study report. So as I told you, this self-study report has to be completed and uploaded in the portal of the NAAC website within 45 days. So the SSR, it is suggested that the institutions first start preparing the SSR, and once they are quite confident that they have got the SSR in a presentable format, and then they can apply for the IIQA. So once you submit the SSR will then be subjected to further process. And NAAC says that those institutions who fail to submit the SSR within 45 days will have to apply fresh, starting from the IIQA and its fees. As I told you earlier during the first session itself, it is system automated. So please ensure that you submit it within those 45 days. However, NAAC says that although the extension for submission of this 45 days time for SSR is not possible, if the request is raised with the issues management system with proper reason and supporting proof, Only in case of natural calamities or floods or technical problems, then they say that they can give you an additional 15 days. And whatever be the case, and in some cases, if the institution says that they are not going to submit the SSR also, even in that case, the fees that you already paid, the 25,000 rupees which you paid for the IAQA, will not be refunded, because that 25,000 rupees was purely for the IAQA processing. So as we start preparing the SSR, the 7 criteria we have to know which form the basis for the assessment and accreditation of the institution. So the 7 criteria are curricular aspects, teaching, learning and evaluation, research, innovations and extension, infrastructure, student support, governance, leadership and institutional values and best practices. So we are going to see about each and every criteria in the SSR. So briefing the entire assessment process, NAAC says that the assessment process will be carried out in 3 stages, 3 main components. One is the preparation of this self-study report, which also includes a student satisfaction survey, and the 3 components are the self-study report, the student satisfaction survey, and the peer team, that is the inspection team report. And the SSR has a total of 115 metrics for universities. For autonomous colleges, it is 107, and for affiliated institutions, it is 93 for UG and 96 for PG. And these come under the 7 criteria. Now, let us understand what are these criteria and what are these metrics. Criteria is nothing but the headings or the subheadings of the various aspects under accreditation. So under these 7 headings come these metrics. Metrics are nothing but questions for which we are for which the institution is supposed to give the answer. So metrics means questions. Say, as teachers, let us put it this way: the 7 criteria are the 7 units: unit 1, or lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, lesson 6, and lesson 7. And the metrics are the questions that will be asked under each lesson. And these metrics or these questions are of 2 types. One is qualitative metrics, the other one is quantitative metrics. So that's what we have. If you had noticed at the beginning of the slide, I said QL and QN. QL stands for qualitative, whereas QN stands for quantitative. So wherever you are giving quantitative answers, it consists only of numbers, and these numbers would be verified by the back-end team of NAAC, by the back office team of NAAC, that is the Data Validation and Verification Committee. While the qualitative metrics are descriptive answers. And these qualitative metrics are the ones that would be verified by the peer team. Of course, the peer team will also verify the quantitative metrics also. We are not saying that they are not going to verify quantitative, but more importantly, quantitative will definitely be verified by the Data Validation and Verification Committee, the DVV. Only on satisfactory report from the DVV, the 3rd stage, that is the peer team visit, will happen. So in the next slide, we are going to see the distribution of the key indicators and the metrics. So as we saw during our session 1 presentation, the institution can fall under any of these 3 categories, whether you are a university or an autonomous college or an affiliated college. The criteria remain the same, the 7 criteria: teaching, learning process, governance, leadership, student support and progression, infrastructure. So the 7 criteria are the same. The key indicators, that is the subheadings. So criteria are the headings, key indicators are the subheadings. There will be, under the 7 criteria, you will be having 34 subheadings, and under these subheadings, again, you will be answering qualitative answers based on qualitative metrics and quantitative metrics. So if you are at university, totally you will be giving 115 answers, out of which 79 would be purely data and 36 would be descriptive. As autonomous colleges, out of the total 107 questions, 72 would be purely data and 35 would be descriptive. And as affiliated colleges for UG, total is 93, out of which 58 is data and 35 is descriptive. And for a PG college, 96 is the total questions that are to be answered, out of which 60 are quantitative and 36 are qualitative. So entering into Criterion 1, what are the various key indicators under Criterion 1? And under these three key indicators, what are the various qualitative and quantitative questions that are to be answered? So under the main heading, Criterion 1, the subheadings that we have are curriculum design and development, curriculum planning and implementation, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system. So as we have indicated over there by the letters U and A, curriculum design and development is applicable only for universities, whereas curriculum planning and application and implementation are applicable for affiliated colleges, because as affiliated colleges we don't have any saying as far the curriculum is concerned. We simply follow the curriculum as given by the affiliating university. So the example that we are taking is for an UG college. A typical example we'll take, in which under Criterion 1. So as you can see the heading, we have taken the latest. We have taken the latest revised accreditation framework. So for UG colleges, under the main heading, curricular aspects, and within bracket, the 100 given is the total number of marks allotted for that criterion. So for Criterion 1, it is 100 marks. And out of which, for the subheading, key indicator 1.1, curricular planning and implementation, it carries 20 marks. So here where it is curricular planning and implementation, because it is an affiliate. The example that we have taken is an affiliated institution. So, and out of these 20 marks, it is divided into, first question carries 10 marks. That is 1.1.1. Question number 1.1.1. Here we don't say question, we use the word metric. Let us understand that metric is the equivalent of question. So metric number 1.1.1. So the first one, 1.1.1, what we mean is the first one indicates the main heading, that is Criterion 1, and the second one indicates the key indicator, that is curricular planning and implementation, and the last one, the last number 1 indicates the question number. So the question that is asked is, the institution ensures effective curriculum delivery through a well-planned and documented process. And here, as it is given below the metric number, it is a qualitative metric, which means you are supposed to give a descriptive answer. And they are asked, so a descriptive answer means you are going to give how effectively you are delivering the curriculum by means of the traditional chalk and talk method, about webinars, about the industrial visits that you may take the children or take the students, or the project works, the seminars that you arrange, the conferences that you arrange. So all these are given in a descriptive method, and they are also asking you to upload any additional information that you may have. For example, in the case of say best project works done, or in the case of e-content for effective curriculum delivery which you have done, you can upload the files. Or in case if the file is too large to be uploaded, in that case you can give the link for additional information. It is either of those. You can either upload the file directly, or you can give the link for the additional information. Now, in all the questions, this option will be asked whether you are going to upload the actual data or whether you are going to give the link for the additional information. So here, one important thing that is to be noted is when you are giving the link for the additional information, say, for example, I say the link is for e-content. Then once the link is being clicked by NAAC in your SSR, as you are uploading the file, as you are filling up the document online, you have typed the link. Once the link is being clicked, it should take directly to the e-content on your website. It should not land on the home page of the website, because the DVV, Data Validation and Verification Committee, they cannot search our website and find out which data is given where. That is not possible for them. That is the reason why they say give the direct link, so that once I click on e-content, then inside my website, wherever the e-content has been uploaded, the link should directly take me over there. That is for metric number 1.1.1. Next is metric number 1.1.2. The institution adheres to the academic calendar, including the content of the examinations, that is internal examinations, continuous assessment processes. So here again, it is a descriptive answer. And if you have any additional information in the form of file uploading, for example, the timetable which you have followed, the entire academic calendar, in addition to this description, most of the institutions issue an academic calendar to the students at the beginning of every year, saying when is the exams expected to happen, and when are the industrial visits expected to happen, what is the tentative time of the first internal examination, second internal test, third internal test, what is the tentative starting and ending date of the model examination, what is the tentative scheduling of the seminars, workshops, and even conferences that are being arranged department wise for every program. So when we say upload additional information, you can either upload the academic PDF format of the academic calendar directly, or you can give the link as said earlier. Only thing is that once we click the link, then it should go directly to the academic calendar and not to the home page of the website. So once again, let me specify. So here, as Professor Arjit Gangopadhyay is saying, he is asking us to cite 1 or 2 examples of what point we should cover. That is definitely being done. So we have taken, your request has been considered and it will definitely be answered. So as we said, in the qualitative metric number 1.1.2, when we say the link, then it means the link which will land you directly on the academic calendar in your website. The next metric is a quantitative metric. Now this is the first time. First two were descriptive, whereas this one is quantitative. It says that teachers of the institution, do they participate in the following activities related to curriculum development, assessment of the affiliating university, and are represented on the following academic bodies. Now this example which we have taken is for an affiliated institution. So say for example, you are affiliated to Visvesvaraya Technological University, or you are affiliated to Madras University, or Anna University, or University of Pune. So in here, the quantitative answer, what we mean is, in case the 4 bodies which saying is the academic council or the board of studies of the affiliating university. Now my answer for one, if I am saying yes, my people are there in the academic council, means it means only if as a the answer I am giving is for an affiliated college. So the answer, I can say that my staff are there in the academic council or BOIS of the affiliating university. For example, if my institution is affiliated to VTU, Visvesvaraya, then only if any of my staff member is there in that board of studies or their academic council, my answer would be yes for point number 1. But in case if they are in the academic council or board of studies of some other university which has got nothing to do with my institution, then I cannot include their names in point number 1. So while you are giving the quantitative metrics, please ensure that the number that you give is specific and relevant with the supporting document. But if I say that yes, people are there in the academic council and board of studies, then I have to also have the letter given by that affiliating university as to the corresponding staff member, appointing them as a member of the BOS or the AC academic council. And it is also, they are also asking whether staffs are setting question papers and whether they are involved in the design and development of curriculum for add-on programs and assessment process, whether they are being called for paper evaluation. So once we say that this, say for example, out of the 100 staff, 70 staffs, if I say as a quantitative number, 70 staffs are involved in assessment, paper evaluation means, then I need to have 70 letters inviting these 70 different faculties for the paper valuation. So this is what we say quantitative metrics. Any number that you specify here should be supported by the corresponding document. So let me just repeat, for in the case of academic council and board of studies, the letter issued by that university appointing the staff member. Number 2 is setting of question papers. Again, the corresponding staff member would have got a letter or an email. So that would be the supporting document for that. Same thing applies to point numbers 3 and 4. And in fact, in the case of point number 2, setting of question papers, and point number 4, the staff would also have got remuneration from the corresponding university for setting the question paper and also for evaluation of answer sheets. The money would have been given either in the form of check or in the online transfer. So a copy of the passbook showing that online transfer would also be appreciated. And that is the data required. And here, as you can see, the data template. So if you remember in the session 1, we had given a list of documents which had to be downloaded from the NAAC website. So if you're in that list of document itself, we have indicated that you have to download these templates. So in those templates, you have to enter these numbers. So these templates, the numbers, they will be asking you the number of teachers and also the name of the body, that is the affiliating university, and then the total number of teachers at that point of time. So this completes this metric 1.1.3, which is a quantitative metric. And moving on to the next one. So key indicator number 1.2. So now we have completed the first subheading. Under main heading, Criterion 1, the key indicator 1.1 is completed. Now we have come to key indicator 1.2, which is about academic flexibility. So first answer is yes. One of the they are asking whether we can consider practical or oral assessment. Yes, definitely. If you have been and gone as an external examiner for conducting practical examinations, yes, it also comes under evaluation only. It can definitely be considered. Now coming to metric number 1.2.1. Percentage of programs in which choice-based credit system CBCS or elective course system has been implemented. So here they are asking you again, it's a quantitative metrics, you have to enter the exact number. So they are asking you the number of programs in which this system is being implemented. So out of the various programs that you offer, say for example, if I am a university and I am offering and I am having 2 or 3 institutions. Say for example, I am having a medical college and also an engineering college. Then it is possible that in engineering college I can employ CBCS system, whereas there may be a program in which I cannot have any electives. In such cases, the total number of programs would be in the formula, as you can see, the number of programs in which the CBCS is implemented divided by the total number of programs offered. As I told you in the example, if I am offering 2 programs, out of which in only one there is CBCS or elective, then the formula will be 1/2, that is 50% of the courses. Now please remember, it is either or, either CBCS or elective. And here you have to upload the minutes of the relevant academic council and board of studies meetings. Or if you are an affiliated college, the syllabus book would be fine. And if you are a university, the academic council and board of studies meeting. Now here one question that may arise is that the academic council or the board of management, board of studies, these files are sensitive files and we can't leave it in the open in our university website. So in that case, what we do is we upload that document with a password, so that once you submit the SSR and the NAAC people, while verifying the document, if they click on the link, it will go directly to the minutes of the academic council, but it will ask for the password, which the NAAC people, which we will be sharing, the institution will be sharing with the NAAC people, so that the NAAC can enter that password and open the document, in which case only the NAAC has access to sensitive materials. So that is one thing that we can use, where sensitive data or sensitive documents which cannot be uploaded on the website can be password protected. So that completes 1.2.1. Coming to the next metric, 1.2.2. Number of add-on certificate programs. So nowadays, most of the institutions are offering additional programs. In addition to the curriculum, they are going outside their syllabus and they are engaging outside agencies to offer certificate programs, or they are collaborating with outside agencies. So outside agencies may be private agencies or even government agencies. For example, ICT Academy is there, with which we can enter into MOUs and even private bodies, which private professional societies also are there, with which we can enter into an MOU and we can offer add-on programs. So they are asking you how many programs have been given in the last 5 years, and again the data template. And towards the end of this session, I'll also show all these data templates. We have already downloaded. I'll also show you a sample of these data templates. Is IGNO, one question that is being asked is IGNO Center? No, IGNO Center cannot be, because those programs does not come under this institution. So the next question is 1.2.3, which is again quantitative, which means we have to enter data. So average percentage of students enrolled in these certificate courses as against the total number of students. So here, once again, they want to know whether how much percentage of students are taking up these additional courses. Here, it is not necessary that all the students should be taking up all the certificate courses. It is not so. So out of, say, for example, in a class of 50 students, some 30 students may be may have taken up certificate course number 1, whereas the remaining another 25 students would have taken certificate number 2. So only thing is what we have to ensure is, so how many students have undergone at least one training program. So that says the total number of students, which comes in the numerator, which obviously means that if one student has undergone 3 certificate programs, it is still counted as only one student and you can't count it as 3. And then once you enter this data for the 5 years, they take up the average for these. And the file that is to be uploaded is details of the students enrolled in subjects. So here you have to give the data of the students, specifically the register number of the student and the name of the student who has undergone this program. So here you will be uploading in the data template which NAAC has provided. Here one more query that we are getting is, they want us to elaborate on the type of certificate course. So it is called a certificate course only if there are a minimum of 30 contact hours. If it is less than 30 contact hours, then it shall not be considered. Again, this I am telling you now, this is very clearly given. Once we are going to the third session, once we are considering the data verification and validation, there this is very clearly specified. Now coming on to the next metric, 1.3.1, it is a qualitative QL. So institution integrates cross-cutting issues relevant to professional ethics, gender, human values. It is descriptive, and here the information, the supporting document which you can upload is the list and description of courses. So if you are an affiliated college, then a syllabus book would be fine. So a syllabus, and once they click on the link, it should directly land on that page of the syllabus book, on that page of the PDF document in which the course related to professional ethics is printed. The next question is average percentage of courses that include experiential learning through project work. It is again quantitative, which means you have to specify the number of courses, and here you have to, the supporting document that is to be entered in the data template is the name of the course. Say for example, in the case of engineering, if it is a final engineering, if it is a project that he is doing, then it comes under this. It will be counted as one course. And again, the formula is same. And please remember that it is the course. Like say for example, I mean, when we say course, it is the subject. Now say for example, if a subject includes a mini project, which is considered towards assessment of the subject, then it will be counted as a course including experiential learning. Now say for example, in the case of engineering, if in the second year or third year, or in the case of a science, say BSc or BSc Maths or BSc Physics, in the second year, if he does some mini project which carries some weightage as specified in the curriculum, then that course would be counted here. And the supporting documents that you have to enter is, as I said, the program and the curriculum, the syllabus, which says that yes, mini project is a part of this course. And if you are an affiliated institution, then the minutes of the boards, the point number 2 is not applicable to you. And if you are a university, a private university, then point number 2 would be applicable. And the fourth subheading is the feedback system which we are following. Whether the institution takes feedback from the students, teachers, employers, and alumni. And nowadays, most of the institutions take this feedback online, and they have a separate ERP, a separate software for analyzing this feedback. So we have to enter the link for this feedback. And as you can see here in the file, it's a quantitative metric. So once you say that yes, we take feedback from the student, teachers, employees, and all the 4 categories, then you have to give the supporting doc. You have to give the feedback report taken from the student, teacher, employers, and alumni. Now here, one thing we have to verify, we have to understand is that, say for example, the data validation verification committee, how they can cross-check the data that we have given. Now remember, here in this 1.4.1, if my answer to subheading number 4, feedback from the alumni, is yes. If you remember, when we are entering the student data, we gave the number of students in every year, which means my alumni data is also available with the data validation verification committee. Same way, the students data is available with them, and they may very specifically ask, send me the feedback report submitted by this and this student, in case if it is non-confidential. In many institutions, we take the feedback from the students without asking their names. Then in that case, it is fine. You can give the answer to the verification validation DVE committee that no, we don't take the names of the students. Whereas if our feedback report specifies the name of the student who has given it. Here Vasuki madam is asking, is there a common feedback? No, there is no hard and fast rules regarding the format of the feedback. The format of the feedback is left to the individual institution. So as I told you, if your feedback includes the name of the student, then the DVV committee can very well ask for the feedback report submitted by a specific student. So in the file description, as you can see, they are also asking you for the action taken report of the institution on the feedback report. Like say, for example, the student may have given a feedback saying that they want to remove some topic which is obsolescence, which is in obsolescence. For example, in the case of computer programming, if you are having some programming language which is no more in use, and your alumni has given a feedback saying that, sir, you can remove this language from the syllabus and you can include the latest language which is now sought after by the companies. Then on analyzing that feedback, the concerned department will propose removing the obsolescent language from their syllabus and including the new programming language. So this would be given to the board of studies, which would consider the merits and demerits, and if the merits are good, they would approve it, which will again approved by the academic council in case of universities, and in case of affiliated bodies, the syndicate. So if you are a university and you have taken some measure regarding that, you need to submit that document also. So this carries a weightage of 10 marks, and the remaining 10 marks is given to the next question, that is the feedback process. Mr. Arjit Gangopadhyay is asking, could this be scanned copies? Definitely it can be scanned copies. And as I told you, nowadays, not many are taking hand copies. Everything has gone online. But if you still follow that hard copy, you can very well scan that. And the next question is the feedback process of the institution. Maybe what are you doing with that feedback? Whether you are not at all collecting the feedback, and if you are just collecting the feedback, sir, but we are not doing anything, or if you are collecting it, analyzing it, and taking action on that, and whether you have to put this on your website. So depending on that, you will be answering either A, B, C, D, or E. And now I have one more query saying that Srilata is asking, what is the yardstick? Oh, yardstick. Okay, what is the yardstick for analyzing? Well, the yardstick is that whether you have considered their ideas and whichever is implementable and productive ideas, whether that has been implemented. That is the yardstick, because they may be coming up with some very good ideas which would be really useful, and whether the institution has been taking that considerably. And in cases where not much can be done about the feedback, then of course we have analyzed that, and you will close it saying that no action need to be taken on this feedback. Like that, you can close this. That is the yardstick. So if your answer is A for this question, saying that yes, we have collected, analyzed, and action taken, and feedback is also available on our website, then that link should be given. The URL for that link should be given in this SSR, so that once the committee clicks on this link, it should take them directly to that page on our website. And now that completes criteria number 1, that is heading number 1. Smita Patil madam is asking, is it compulsory to take feedback from every student? Of course it is compulsory, and the more number of students you have, it is better. Whereas if you say that, no, out of the say 50 students in my class, I have the feedback from only 20 students, means then it paints a poor picture about your feedback system. So the more number of students you have, the better. And I have one more question from here, which says that Mr. Kulkarni is asking, feedback from the employers include what? Well, the employers will give you feedback about the persons whom they have employed. How is the attitude of the persons? How are they working? Based on their attitude, should some improvement be given on the ethical part, on the time management part, or the employers can also suggest some important topics that can be included in the curriculum and syllabus. And Dr. Reena Sham is asking, how many batches of alumni? As the NAAC indicates, it is always the last 5 years. You need to have the last 5 years data with you. And coming to Criterion 2. So in this Criterion 2, under the main heading, The subheadings given are student in the teaching learning process. Subheadings given are student enrollment, student diversity, TLP, teachers profile and quality, the evaluation process, and how the students are performing in that, and the triple student satisfaction survey. So the first question under this subheading 2.1 is average enrollment percentage. So how many of your seats are getting filled up? So that data you have to enter. So this gives a very clear indicator about how good is your institution, how good is the program offered by your institution, how good it is at attracting students. So better this percentage over here, better is the marks that you score out of this 20. Once again, in the NAAC SSR itself, they are giving you very clearly that how much marks you can score depending upon this percentage. Say, for example, if your percentage is 50%, then you score so many, some say 10 marks out of 20. If your percentage is 60, you score 12 marks out of 20. If your percentage is 80 and above, then you can score 20 out of 20. Like that, they have specified. So again, it is a quantitative matrix. And here, for this quantity number that you are entering, please remember that NAAC will be asking you for the complete details of each and every student that you have admitted. The next question is the category of the student, the community category, whether they come under the specially challenged quota, like that. So here again, for the last 5 academic years, number of students admitted. So please remember, it is only the first year data that you are going to give over here. In this academic year, first year, how many have joined? In the previous year, first year, how many joined? Like that for the last 5 years, you will be giving. And once again, the data template, which we have already downloaded from the NAAC website, that would be used for entering these data. And this data can be for the departments. This data can be obtained from the office. In fact, once you are maintaining your proctor card or your mentor card in your mentoring system, the mentors will be having the profile of each and every student. So from that itself, they can fill up this data, and they have to cross verify it with the admissions office or the central office in which the pool of data is being maintained. And once again, the formula is given over here, and it is a quantitative matrix. Next subheading is 2.2, that is how diversified is your student community. So when we say diversification, what we means is the quality of the students who are coming in. So it says for advanced learners, for average learners, and slow learners. It is a qualitative matrix. Say for advanced learners, if you are a university, you may even provide a fast track program in which the student can study more number of subjects in one particular semester, so that in the forthcoming semesters the load is reduced and he can go for summer internship, or he can even start applying for a job and start working, say 2 days a week or 3 days a week, so that the number of courses that he is taking in the next semester is less. That is for the advanced learners. And for slow learners, once you have identified the slow learners, what kind of steps are being taken by the institution? Say additional coaching classes, whether you are providing any important questions and answers from the examination point of view, so that you are reducing the workload of the student, or after college hours, whether you are offering any additional coachings by the only for those slow learners, or whether you are providing them with any online content which they can go through at any time from the university, from the college website, institution website. So these are the various schemes that would come under the advanced learners and slow learners. Once again, it is qualitative, and in the file description, it is given as not passing, it is paste the link for any additional information. Once you give this, then the DVV may ask you for the list of slow learners. And if you say that in your description, if you have given that we are arranging coaching classes for the slow learners, means then the NAAC may ask you for the timetable for this coaching class. So that is how they verify it. It is a qualitative matrix. And Mr. Makesh Raj is asking any criteria to distinguish between advanced learners and slow learners. Sir, there is no criteria, specific criteria. As teachers, we know who are the advanced learners and slow learners, which we would have identified based on their performance in the internal tests, that internal assessment test that you have conducted. And the next question is whether advanced learner is possible for AICTE approved. Sir, one advanced learner, the example, that was just an example that I gave. Yes, in AICTE approved these things, very much it is available, because for advanced learners, in addition to the courses that he is studying, you may also include some specific certification programs, which the advanced learners can take up. Very much possible even in AICTE approved institutions. So the next question is 2.2.2. It says student faculty ratio. Sir, I'm getting too many questions, and my sincere request would be that please save these questions for the last, or let it be in the chat box. I'll answer them during the last session. So the next question here is student to full-time teacher ratio. So number of students who are in the institution and the total number of students. Remember, this data should be tallying with the data which you entered in the IIQA. And of course, as I told in the session 1 itself, minor variations, because some minor variations are allowed. Where these minor variations will come is in case some teacher has left midway, or some student has taken a TC and gone, means then there may be a minor variation. Otherwise, the data should be matching perfectly. And one more thing, since they are asking for the latest completed academic year, definitely there can't be any variation over here. And next metric is student-centric methods. Again, it is a qualitative metric. What is they are asking about experiential learning, participative learning, and problem-solving methodologies. What are the courses in which these are being followed? You have to give a descriptive answer for that, and you have to upload the supporting document. For example, participative learning means a project work, or it can even be arranging of conferences and seminars, student projects, student symposiums. So these are participative learning. And the quiz, which for specific courses, if the teacher is conducting course quiz programs, and based on their performance, if that is being considered for their internal assessments, that is also can be shown over here under 2.3.1, as it is qualitative. Only thing is that if you say that yes, we are conducting quiz programs, means then you have to include the link supporting the supporting document, saying when was this quiz program conducted, how many students participated, and here, since it is a descriptive answer, there is no fixed template for this. So the file, that whether you are going to upload as a file or a link, and the format of the file is purely based on the discretion of the institution, because each institution may be following one format. So there is no template for qualitative. Next one is teachers using ICT enabled tool. So ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. So whether you are using any PowerPoint projection, PowerPoint slides you are using, or you are using any online. So during this pandemic period, almost all of us are using webinars. Someone is asking whether I can use a sample template. Definitely, that will be given in the third session. Templates will be shared in the third session. So once you say that the teachers are using ICT enabled tools, you have to give the link in which, say for example, for a particular course, say in BSc Physics for nanomaterials, for the course nanomaterials, I say that I provide e-content. Then in the link, if I click, it should go directly to the page in which the e-content for that course nanomaterials is available. Next one is ratio of mentor to students for the academic, and can we consider NPTEL lectures? Definitely you can consider NPTEL lectures. Very much, it definitely comes under ICT enabled tools. And coming to 2.3.3, ratio of mentor to students for the academic and other related issues. And formalized mentor to mentee. So for each mentor, for each staff, how many students have been allotted? So again, you have to hear it is, remember, it is quantitative, means data number has to be specified. So you have to upload year-wise number of students enrolled and full-time teachers. Remember, this has to tally with the teachers list which you have provided earlier. And you should also upload the circulars, because at the beginning of every semester or every year, the head of the department would have assigned, and in some institutions the mentor does not change at all. As soon as the student enters, right from the first year to the third year in case of arts courses, sorry, case of engineering courses, once they enter the department, from the second year to the final year, the mentor does not change. So the circular which was given to the assigning this mentor and mentee, that should be uploaded. And the next key indicator is percentage of full-time teachers against sanctioned post. So in case there is any backlog, then it will be reflected over here. Udemy and private lectures acceptable? No, Udemy and the private courses, they cannot be considered as certificate programs, because for certificate programs, I told you minimum 30 contact hours for certificate programs. For online programs, if it comes under NPTEL or SWAYAM, then it can be considered. And the next one is number of full-time teachers. If it's an arts college or an engineering college, teachers with PhD. In case of medical colleges, then faculty with the qualification of DM, MCH, DNB, they are considered as equivalent to PhD, and they can also be included in this list. And doctorate of science and doctorate of letters, that is also being considered as equivalent to PhD, and that has to be given. And remember, it is a quantitative metrics. And here, how this will be verified by the DVV is, once you give the number of year-wise list of the teachers, and you have to give the, you'll also be giving the names of these teachers, then the data validation and verification committee can ask for the PhD, copy of the PhD or DM, MCH certificate of a particular staff. So out of, say, for example, if you are having 100 PhDs in your institution, then out of those 100 names, the DVV can handpick 2 or 3 or 4 names or 5 names, how many ever, and ask for their certificates. So once you are entering the number over here, then you have to ensure that you have a copy of their certificates in the department. So that is 2. As far as 2.4.2 is concerned. Next is average teaching experience of full-time teachers in the same institution. So for how long? This is to take up the retention ratio. So more number of teachers that you have, it means the institution retention rate of the institution is very good, which means once this retention rate is good, means the teachers are happy over there. So the more number of experience that you can show here, the more number of marks you can score. Professor Balaji is asking, those who are doing PhD, can they be considered for this academic year? No, sir, they cannot be considered. Once we say PhD, means only those people who have completed their PhD degrees and got their provisional certificates. So at the time of applying, at the time of filling up and submitting the SSR, if you have completed, for example, if you have completed your Vivavus, but you have still not got your degree, means you can include that name. But once the DVV asks for that, then the Viva completion certificate should be with you. Whereas if you are still, the Viva is not done for the PhD candidate at the time of submission, means then he should not be counted in that category. And next one is mechanism of internal assessment is transparent and robust in terms of frequency and mode. So it is qualitative. So when they say transparency, what they ask is for internal assessment, if you are conducting, if you are awarding marks based on assignment, then whether all the students are aware of the marks that has been allotted, so that there is no controversy saying, I also submitted the assignment, I got only 7 marks, whereas another person who has given a poorer assignment than me, he got 9 marks. So that controversy should not be there, which can be avoided only if there is transparency. So that is what they are asking. It is a qualitative metrics. And additional information is you can upload samples of the assignments, or you can give the link wherein it will take for the assignment samples that have been submitted. Also the and robust, meaning whether it is being followed strictly. So say for example, in internal assessment, if I say out of the 25 marks, 10 marks will be considered for the internal assessment 1 means, then in the link, I have to enter the mark list of the students. So internal assessment test test 1 mark list has to be uploaded. That is what is that link for additional information. Next one is again qualitative mechanism to deal with internal examination related grievances, whether it is transparent, time bound, and efficient. In case some student has come up with a grievance, as I told you in the example which I just given you, in case a student is saying that in case a student is saying that he is not happy with the assessment, then what is the mechanism that is followed? I think someone is having their mic on. I'm getting a okay. Please switch off your mics. I'm getting an echo over here. Yeah, thank you. So in case there's some student has come up with a grievance, then what is the methodology that is followed? So here you need to have a copy of the letter for which he has raised the grievance. And in case if the grievance was found to be genuine and addressed, and if there was any revision of marks, then the revised mark list, a copy of that should be maintained. And in case if the grievance has been addressed and the student is now convinced that no, the evaluation process was correct, and the grievance has been rectified in that manner, then the record of the meeting in which the mentor or the subject teacher or the HOD who has addressed that problem, so that record should be added over here. Because definitely once a student meets his mentor, the mentor would be entering on his proctor card the date on which he met them and for which grievance. So that should be mentioned over there. That is the additional data which would be required over here. And it is qualitative only, so there is no template for this. And again, the next two metrics are qualitative metrics, student performance and learning outcome. So teachers and students are aware of the stated program and course outcomes of the programs. So describe the COs. So upload the CO of all the courses. So all the institutions would be having their syllabus book in which they have mentioned the course objective, CO, PO, the mapping, everything you would have done. So you can give a description of that over there, and in the link, once they click on the link, it should directly go to that CO, PO mapping. And next one is attainment of POs and course outcomes are evaluated. Once again, here in this link, Once again, in this link, you can paste the link so that it lands directly on the page, which shows for every department course-wise attainment of this COPO matrix. And as I told you, the COPO mapping may not be applicable for some courses, some programs. So in which case, for whichever it is applicable, only that we are going to mention over here. And the next question is average pass percentage of the students for the past 5 years. So number of students appeared, while total number of final year students who passed the university examination. So here, if I am going to apply for NAAC in this academic year, then it means for the last 5 academic years. So as you can see there, the question is final year students who passed, meaning if I'm applying in the month of say September 2020, 2021, this academic year means the previous 5 academic years data I'm going to enter over here. And here, since it is a quantitative metrics, the number has to be entered as per the data template. So in the data template, it will very clearly mention the program code, because this program code will be given there in your syllabus book. So the program code, name of the program, say for example, if it is an MBBS program, MBBS, the program code, the name of the program, number of final year students who appeared for that, out of that, how many passed, and the pass percentage. And the 5 years data will be taken cumulatively, and an average of this would be calculated. Upload the list of programs and the number of that's the data, that is the data template. One question that they're asking is for each year both main and additional batches, if it is a final year. If in the case of additional batches, if they have appeared for that final year examination, it should definitely be considered, because they are also final year students. CO and PO application for affiliated institutions. Sir, for CO and PO for affiliated institutions, it would be given in your core and your syllabus book itself. They would have given you the CO and POs. And as the institution, you should give the data of the percentage of achievement of this COPO mapping. Now, moving on to the next key indicator, it is the student satisfaction survey. Again, here for this, you have to give the data of each and every student of the institution to NAAC. As I told you at the beginning itself, during the first session, you have to include the Aadhaar card number of the student. So that the main reason for NAAC collecting these details is that they would be sending emails to all these present students. Remember, it is the currently enrolled students. It is the data of the students who are inside the campus in this academic year in which you are applying. So when we say student, it means students inside my campus at the time of applying. Anybody before that is an alumni. So when I say a final year student, it means if I'm applying in say August or September, a final year student means a final year student who is in this campus in the year 2020, 2021. So before him, that final year, he is called as an alumni. So let us be very clear on that. So you have to give the data of all the students currently in your campus in that academic year, so that NAAC will be sending emails to them and taking the surveys from them. So once again, this is a quantitative metrics for which you will be uploading the database of all the currently enrolled students. Since it is a quantitative metrics, it will be as per the data template. Coming to criterion 3, it is for research facilities that are available. How much fund you are, what are the facilities available, how much fund you are able to generate, what is the research outcome in the form of publications, seminars, conferences, patents. So what is the revenue that has been generated through consultancy projects, through royalties. This is what we are going to see in this criterion. And two of these key indicators are not applicable to affiliated colleges. That is, consultancy and research facilities are not applicable to affiliated colleges. Whereas for autonomous institutions and universities, all the 7 are applicable. So the first key indicator in this, it is that they are asking you for the grants received from government and non-governmental agencies for research projects. So here year-wise data you have to give for the last 5 years, and since it is a quantitative metrics, there is a data template which I'll be sharing with you. So the data has to be entered in that template, which includes name of the project, who is the PI, co-PI, what are the department there, when was this project awarded, and if it is a government organization, say from DST, DBT or ICMR, from wherever you have got the funds. So that sanction letter should be scanned and uploaded. And if this has been got from a non-governmental, a private agency, then the covering letter with which they would have transferred the funds, if they had issued a check, they would have definitely sent that along with the covering letter. Or if they have made an online transfer, then also they would have at least sent you an email saying that they are making an online transfer. In such case where you have only an email stating that it is an online transfer, then for supporting that you need at least 2 documents. One is the email saying that they are transferring the amount, and the next one is the bank transaction page, either a printout of the passbook or a printout from the net banking page showing that this much amount has been received in the college account from that particular company or non-governmental agency. These are the documents that would be required for proof, for verification from the DE. Remember, it is a quantitative metrics. So the amount that you enter over here will also be verified in your audit statement of the institution. So here again, when we say research funds, okay, people who have already got the research funds, definitely if it is from a governmental agency, almost all the governmental agencies specify that a separate account has to be opened for this purpose. So in that case, that's not a problem at all. And in case if you are already receiving funds from non-governmental agencies, and in case you don't have a separate account for that, at least from now on, it is recommended that you maintain an exclusive account. In fact, exclusive account for each project. If the amount is substantial, say it goes in terms of lakhs, say if it's a 3 years project, then it is recommended that separate account be maintained for separate projects so that there is no confusion. And remember, these will be verified with your audit statement of the institution. And here Mr. Makesh Raj is asking, both student and staff project is acceptable. Yes, it is definitely acceptable as far as the fund has been obtained from an outside agency. So here next is percentage of departments having research projects. So this will be tallying with the data which you gave in the previous key indicator. So here this is for comparing how many departments are there totally. Remember, you would have given your number of departments in the IIQA itself, and then while you are entering the UGPG programs, so the number of programs which you specified over there should be tallying with the total number of departments that you specify here in the denominator. So in case there is any discrepancy in that, then the DVV will definitely raise questions on this. So this is the information from the as the head of the institution. If they are going to provide this data, or if there is a separate research cell in the institution which is taking care of this, then this should ensure that the total number of departments which you are specifying in this denominator is tallying with the total number of departments which you mentioned in the IIQA. So please remember that. And it is a quantitative metrics, meaning there is a fixed template, the format in which the data has to be provided. And next one is again number of seminars, conferences, workshops conducted. It is a quantitative metrics. And here they are asking for the total number of seminars, conferences. They have not differentiated as national, state, international. So you can include everything in this. So specify the academic year, and in that academic year, how many numbers you have organized. Okay, and that would be as per the data template. And once you enter, in the data template, they will be asking you for the number of participants. So in case if you claim that you have given TADA for the participants, then the DVV may very well ask for the DVV will definitely ask for the proof of payment for a particular participant. So if you are saying that TADA is given for workshops and conferences organized by you, then please ensure that you have sufficient back document, like at least a payment voucher. If you are going to give a payment voucher, then please remember that this voucher date, the amount that has been given here, should reflect in your bank statement or in your audit statement. So simply a payment voucher alone will not be sufficient. A voucher should be substantiated by a scanned copy of the passbook in case if it's an online payment. Or in case if it is a cash payment, then it should be reflected in the cash register of the accounts department, which would once again be reflected in the audit statement. Next one is number of papers published per teacher in the journals notified on the UGC website. So you have to enter the exact numbers over here. Here this will be verified by the DVV from the outside sources. So here they will not be asking us any proof. So please ensure that whatever be the number you are entering over here year wise, then you have to be sure that once it is verified by the DVV, it is reflected on the website of UGC. So if I say in this year 2000, in the just concluded year 2019-20, if I say I have 50 papers in UGC recognized journals, then I should be having, as given in the data template, title of the paper, name of the authors, in which department they are, in which journal it was published, and the ISSN number. Now here one common doubt that we may have is, sir, we are entering the data for the last 5 years. A situation may arise so that a journal which was there in the last year might not be here now. Let us not worry about that. As long as the journal was there in the UGC website at the time of publishing during that academic year, if it was there, it is fine. Because in that journal website itself, they would have specified that this has been included in the UGC website. As well as the UGC website, they would have mentioned that at that time, this journal is there. So no worries about that. At the time of publication, whether that journal was there in the UGC recognized list. Next is number of books and chapters published in national international conferences. Here again, we can include only those chapters or those books of which the author was a teacher of the institution at the time of publication. What we mean here is that in case a staff has joined us only in the last academic year and he has published books or chapters previous to joining here, then it cannot be included here. So only that publication of which at the time of publication, if the teacher was in that particular institution only, it will be counted over here. So again, it is a quantitative metrics, which means that it is as per the data template given in the NAAC website, and only those chapters and books which have ISBN, ISSN numbers would be considered. Next is the extension activities. That is corporate, what we call as community or social responsibility activities carried out by the institution. So the first one is related to social issues, activities carried out for the holistic development of the student. Remember, it is a qualitative metrics. That is, say for example, as members, as students, as members of the National Service Scheme or National Cadet Corps or Youth Red Cross or any other agency, whether it be governmental or non-governmental. In many cases, in some cases, the institutions may also have separate clubs. Say, for example, science club, nature club, like that they may be having. If they are having that, then they can include that in the descriptive answers. And the link which you will be giving here is that you can include the photographs of the act taken during the activities that has been carried out by these clubs, with clearly mentioning what was the activity along with the name of the club and the date. So if you can paste that link, the link over here, and if the NAAC committee clicks on that link, then it should take them directly to the photograph. Say for example, I am saying an NSS activity. If I click on the link, it should take me over there. Institution says NSS activity has to be registered. Definitely NSS means you would have got the approval from the corresponding state NSS unit. Only then it is considered as an NSS unit. Because in some cases the government also gives funds, whereas in some cases it will be a self-funding. So whatever be that NSS should be recognized by the corresponding state NSS unit. Same thing applies to NCC. So as I mean, continuing again, once I click on the link, it should take me to that corresponding activity, clearly with the photograph indicating the activity along with the date. 3.3.2 is quantitative, in which it says number of awards and recognitions received for these activities from government and government recognized bodies. So it is a quantitative metrics in which you have to give the number of awards for the extension activities in the last 5 years. And remember, it is quantitative, so it is a data template in which you have to mention the name of the award, the purpose or the activity for which the award was given, and the agency which gave this award, and during which time, the year in which the award was granted. And most of the times the award will be given along with the recognition certificate. You need to upload the e-copy of the award, or in case there is no certificate given, only a shield or something like that is presented, then a photograph of the shield, and along with that a copy of the invitation letter or the letter which says that the award has been bestowed on you. Now the question asked is, how do we know that the agency is government recognized or not? Sir, very simple, sir. In the letter which you would have received itself, they would have mentioned recognized by government wide such and such numbers, like that they would have given. Because most of the times what happens is, we will be giving many awards over here, some very good numbers, but the DVV may summarily reject it, saying that the award which you received from such and such organization, it is not recognized by the government, hence the number would be reduced. So please ensure that it is a government recognized. I am saying recognized, not registered, because many agencies give away awards and they would be a registered trust or a society. That does not mean that they are recognized by the government. Let us understand the difference between the two. They are registered societies. It does not mean that all registered societies are government recognized. No, it is not so. If college directly do some extension program, definitely it can be considered. How will the college, I mean, but the staff or the student should be involved in that. Then, I mean, then only it can be considered as an extension program done by the institution. If it is being carried out by the trust which is sponsoring the institution, then it will not be considered over here. It can be considered as an extension activity of the institution only if there is a contribution of the student or the staff in that particular activity. The number of extension programs organized through the NSS, NCC, Red Cross, all that. So here again, It is a quantitative matrix, which means there is a data template which will include the agency with which you have collaborated, and in case there is no collaboration, then no problem at all. In case only the NCC is involved directly in that, only the NCC involved means absolutely no problem. In the column number name of the collaborating agency, you can say nil. So be specific about what is the activity carried out, and since it is a quantitative matrix, you need to have supporting documents for this. Like most of the time, it is a photograph at that particular period. And supporting documents can be, say, for example, you had carried out a campus cleaning activity in some remote village. Say you cleaned the temple premises or a school premises, a government school premises, or you sponsor the children sponsored a water tank, or the students took classes for the government students, small of computer classes, computer awareness programs, something like that they have organized means, then you need to have photographs of these activities. Also, you would have taken the students, the institutes, college students over there, meaning which at that time, yeah, you would have used the college transport facility, you would have stayed over there, you would have spent for the food. And supporting documents on the voucher that you have spent the money for this food, for the transport, all these are the documents which are proof that this has been run. And average percentage of students participating in the extension activity. Here again, number of students in NSS, NCC, all this data should be given. Remember, it's a quantitative matrix and it should be as per the data template. Next one is about the collaborations and linkages for faculty exchange, student exchange, internship, fieldship. Here it is a quantitative matrix, and please remember that MOUs are different and this is different. Here, say for example, on the job training, you may have a tie-up with another private organization or even a government organization in which you do not have a MOU, but there is email correspondence saying that they are willing to provide the job training, and they had in fact, and they had also issued training completion certificates to the students, means then that is very much valid and that can be included here. Here you have to be very clear about under what category that particular activity falls. So the various categories that they have given are faculty exchange, student exchange, internship, field trip, on the job training, research. So these are various heads. In case you have any other heads also, that can be included. Only thing is that if you say you have a tie-up with another university or another institution for faculty exchange, then that would be considered as one. And under the same institution, under the same linkage, if you are sending student also, then you can consider that as two numbers, one for faculty exchange and one for student exchange. So in the title of the linkage, you'll be specifying faculty exchange, and the next one will be student exchange, although in the partnering institution, the name would be same. So number of linkages would increase for this under the same organization. If it comes under various heads, then you can count them separately. If you have MOU and student exchange has been done, you can definitely consider it over here. Now, why I said that they are different and this is different is you can consider those MOUs under 3.4.2. Here it says number of functional MOUs with national and international institutions, universities, industries, corporate houses. In case the MOU that you have with an industry which does not fall under this category, then show it under the 3.4.1. Only thing is that please don't repeat the same data in 3.4.1 and 3.4.2, because once we say a MOU, It means a signed document signed by both parties. Only that is called as MOU. And one more thing, they are very clear. They are asking for you. They are asking for the functional MOU, meaning once the MOU in the MOU itself format itself, if you see, you would have specified what are the activities that could be carried out. And a functional MOU means at least one activity under that heading should have been carried out. Then only they call it as a functional MOU. So it is again quantitative, which means there is a data template asking you for the name of the other institution with which you have collaborated, when was the MOU signed, the year, and how long is the MOU valid, whether it is renewable every year or renewable after 3 years or 5 years, what is the duration, and the activities which had been carried out under that MOU. Now, under the same MOU, you can have 3 or 4 activities also. For example, faculty exchange, student exchange, research scholar exchange. Like this, many activities can happen under one MOU. And the file that needs to be uploaded is the entire MOU should be scanned and uploaded. Or you can even provide a link. If you are having more than one MOU, say 10 or 20 MOUs, then you can give a link. And once they click the link, it should go to the main MOU page, in which you can have a pull down menu showing all the MOUs for the MOUs made with the various universities. So that brings us to criteria number 4. Criteria number 4 is about the physical infrastructure. So whether the institution has adequate infrastructure, so the number of classrooms, laboratories, all this you would be entering over here. Number of smart classrooms you have, and in the classrooms also the number, in case you have a separate studio for conducting these webinars, or you have a EduSat room, that also can be included in this qualitative metrics. And in the link you can include photographs for the these various things. And the next one is again adequate facilities for sports, games, gymnasium. It is a qualitative answer, and here you have to include as the supporting documents, you have to include the photographs. And remember, once you are including photographs of the facilities, then NAAC will be asking you to do geotagging. So while taking the photographs itself in the digital camera, you have to keep the settings in such a way that once the photograph is taken, the latitude and longitude, the geotagging is very clearly seen on the digital version of the photographs. So if you are taking photographs of your laboratory facilities, classroom facilities, and make sure that they are geo-tagged. Then percentage of classrooms and seminar halls with, if the sports complex is shared, you can between the medical and dental colleges, absolutely no problem. Only thing is geo-tagging is required. Because anyway, once you say medical college and dental college, that sports facility is going to be in the in the land that belongs to either the medical college or the dental college. If it belongs to only to the medical college, then when you are going for NAAC accreditation of medical college, you can say it is your own. Whereas if you are going for a dental college accreditation, you can say that you are sharing the facility with the medical college. That is not a trouble at all. Because NAAC does allow sharing of some facilities. Whereas sharing of, some facilities should be exclusive. So here you have to enter the number of classroom seminar halls. Again, it is quantitative, meaning there is a data template in which you have to enter these. And remember, NAAC would be asking, in case you say that you have 5 smart classrooms or 10 smart classrooms, if you specify those numbers, then they may ask for the geotagged photographs of those. The sharing of lab facilities between institutions is not permitted, and in case if you say it is permitted, then you have to give the supporting document for the permission as accorded by the corresponding regulatory authority, under which authority you have been permitted to share that facility. That should be specified. Here one question that is, this geotagging is required. geotagging requirement is only for photos. Definitely for infrastructure, whenever you are taking a photograph, geotagging will definitely be required because you are going to anyway take the photograph from now on only. So geotagging would be required. So next is coming to the budget part, average expenditure, excluding salary. So salary criteria should not be included over here. And here, once you say that this much amount of money has been spent, then if you say, for example, last year we have to spend 120 lakhs, that is 1.2 crores, 120 lakhs. Then this 120 lakhs, in what are the avenues in which it was spent? Because they are very clearly asking infrastructure augmentation, say whether any new buildings have been built, whether any sports complex has been built, any transport bus has been bought, any additional facilities like this. So whatever be the amount that is specified over here should be substantiated with the checks or online payments that has been made for that total amount. Now coming to the library as a learning resource. First one is qualitative metrics, which means you will be uploading the photograph of your library with geotagging. You will be specifying the software which you are using and also the purchase bills for that particular software which you had paid. And 4.2.2 is quantitative. That is the institution has subscription, e-journals, Shodh Sindhu. So if you say any 4 or more, then you have to have for e-journals the subscription letter which they had mailed you. Same thing with Shodh Sindhu. Now, one thing that we have to remember here is they are very clearly specifying e-journals and e-books separately. In many cases, previously and all, if you remember, when we purchase a textbook or reference books for the library, previously when the data and the DVD was very popular, at the end of the book, the entire book would be given in a PDF format written in a DVD or a CD. Now that should not be entered here. Let us be very clear. E-books are different and a DVD containing a soft copy of a textbook is different. So while you are entering the data, be clear about your understanding of the term e-books. Let me repeat, e-books are different and a DVD containing a soft copy of a book is different. So once you enter the data, it's a quantitative metrics, then you have to upload the subscriptions that you have made for e-journals, Shodh Ganga membership letter and Shodh Sindhu membership letter. Next is the expenses made exclusively for procuring books and e-books for the library. So here every year you have to mention that, and this has to be substantial. Say for example, in INR for one academic year in INR, I am mentioning 25 lakhs for library. Then this 25 lakhs, I have to give a split up of how this 25 lakhs was spent, how much was given for e-books. Say for example, out of the 25 lakhs, I'm saying 16 lakhs was given for e-books, means then this 16 lakhs, what are the various companies to which the 16 lakhs was given? The split up of the split up of this 16 lakhs should be given very clearly, which should be substantially supported in your audit report. Next is percentage per day usage of library by teachers and students, footfalls and login data for online access. So this, many of the colleges have automated, barcoded ID cards, so that the student, when he enters the library, he scans his ID card, which records his attendance of entering into the library. So once you enter the number over here, it should be substantiated with that attendance record in case if it is automatic, or if you don't have an automated attendance wherein the student are entering their names while they are entering the library in a register, then scanned copies of that registers would be required by the NAAC office. And if the students are accessing the library, if the institution is providing e-access, then the login details of the students should be produced. Next is the IT facility and how this information technology facility is constantly upgraded by the institution. Here it says whether the campus has Wi-Fi. In case you have Wi-Fi, then the bill that invoice submitted by the invoice given by the Wi-Fi service provider, internet service provider, ISP, to the institution must be uploaded. And next one is the student to computer ratio. Here, when one important thing that we have to remember is, remember in your extended profile, we included the number of computers. So when we are saying student to computer ratio, we should not include the computers that are available in the office or the account section for administrative purposes. They are different. And once we say a student to computer ratio, this includes computers to which students have access. And next one is bandwidth of internet connection. Remember, it is quantitative, which means once you enter some number A, B, C, D, or E, then you have to provide the letter as a proof. And one more thing, when the peer team is coming for the inspection, they may physically check whether the internet strength at that time is tallying with the data that you are giving over here. Next is expenditures incurred on maintenance of infrastructure facilities. That is, any painting activity was carried out, any transportation materials, transport buses were taken for service. So all that will come under the expenditures incurred on maintenance. Please remember that this is only for maintenance of the infrastructure and not for new buildings that has been built. Here, the department can't have much. I mean, the department should also have a record of all this numbers, because what is given over here is the overall total budget that has been spent, out of which, say for example, in 1 year, if you are giving an amount of 10 lakhs, then this 10 lakhs, how this 10 lakhs was spent? What are the buildings that were painted or repaired? Like that, we have to be very clearly specify that split up, and the corresponding department should also know that, okay, their building was painted at this time and this much amount of money was spent on that. And remember, it is a quantitative matrix, which means a data template is there, and very obviously, since it is financial concerned, this amount should be reflected in your audit statement. And next one is a qualitative answer, in which case they say whether they are established systems and procedures for maintaining and utilizing the physical facilities, that is laboratory usage. And as the student enters the laboratory, are they swiping their ID cards for barcoded entry, or whether you maintain any separate attendance, or in case if it's a regular regular course activity, then the timetable should clearly specify whether the students are there. They are asking sports day expenses or research expenses. Research expenses will come in 3 and not in 4. So this completes the Criterion 4, and we move on to Criterion 5, where the key indicators are student support, student progression, student participation activities, and alumni engagement. So first one is number of students benefited by scholarship and free ships provided only by the governmental agency. So you have to include, in case the student is being sponsored by any private agency, it should not be shown over here, because this 5.1.1 is exclusively for government. So include that number as per the data template, and you should be having the letter received from the government along with the release of funds for every year. And the next one is for the non-governmental agencies. If the student has been sponsored by a private trust or society, or the institution itself is giving some free seats without collect or part payment fees to the students, then that number can be included over here. And this is again a quantitative metrics, which means that if we say that private agencies are involved in this, then we have to mention the name of the scheme under which the students are being benefited, because NAAC may verify it with that sponsoring agency. So you also need to have the letters given by that sponsoring agency. Yes, fee concession given by the student can definitely be added in this. Only thing is there has to be a letter which has been officially issued to the student saying that he has been awarded a fees concession. And this is regarding to the training that has been offered to the student. Additional training outside the curriculum, outside the courses. One more question that they're asking is, can it be a consolidated? You cannot have a consolidated letter for all the students. It can only be individual letters. Because if it is a consolidated letter, then there they can't specify how much money how much concession has been given for which student. So 5.1.3 capacity building and initiatives taken by for soft skills. Here again, it is a quantitative metrics, which means as per the data template, you have to be clearly specify the name of the program conducted, number of students who have enrolled on that program, the name of the agency, and also sample copies of the certificates issued. Next is average percentage of student benefited from the guidance for competitive examinations. So can this training be done by internal faculty with e-certificate? Definitely, but this should have been done outside your working hours, in which the timetable has not been disturbed. That is the answer for that question from Dr. Reena. So regarding this competitive examinations, say GRE, TOEFL, and for PG, NEET, all these, how many students have appeared, and any guidance was given, or if the institution itself has some in-house training. Because for example, in some institutions, from the third year itself, in the case of engineering, the department organizes courses in GRE or for GATE preparation. So that data can be entered over here. And in case if it is being done by collaborating with an outside agency, that can very well be included over here. And you have to have the MOU that you entered with that agency as the backup document. And this is regarding the student grievance. Here, if you say that you have all the three, that is grievance mechanism is there, the grievance has been addressed, means then you need to have a copy of the letter in which the students has expressed his grievance, or in case if you have a standard format which says name of the student, department in which he is studying, the name of the program he is pursuing, and nature of grievance. Like that, if you have a standard format, then a copy of that should be enclosed. And then once a grievance is received, what was the action taken on that? So that should also be included in this. Or you can say, well, I have a grievance redressal mechanism, but fortunately, there has not been any complaint. Like that, you can also say, if that is the case. Next is percentage of placement. So this data will be taken care, should be cross-verified both by the department and the placement cell of the institution. So here, once you specify the number of outgoing students, then you need to have individual placement record for each and every student, the appointment order of the student. Company-wise should be maintained for each and every individual student. Then students who have gone for higher education. A medical institute, you do not have a placement cell, absolutely no trouble, madam. Once the department, if they are having the copy, that is fine. If the student has joined in any hospital through the college, then that can be included in this placement. Or the student is going for private practice, no problem. The number of outgoing student progression to higher education. Here UG to PG. PG to MPhil, PG to PhD, MPhil to PhD. Once you enter these numbers in the data template, once you enter the data students numbers in this data template, then you have to have the proof of their migrating from UG to PG. The supporting document should be there. The letter of admissions that they have got. So one question that they are asking is, what is the proof that you can have for starting a clinic? Once you are starting a clinic, I am very sure that it should be registered with some state regulatory authority. So that letter which they are having, which they have received, the clinic, that should, Reena Shyam, madam, I'm not sure how to track this information. Which information? I'm not sure. If you can be specific. So this is regarding the students who are progressing to higher education. Then students qualifying in national. GATE, GRE, TOEFL. So how many students have appeared and how many have cleared? If the student has cleared those examinations, then you need to have his pass certificate in that particular examination as the proof. So GRE, his mark sheet which specifies the scores he has scored in that GRE, a copy of that mark sheet is required. Same thing applies for TOEFL, civil services, and UPSC, all these things. So once we give a number over here, then that many number of letters or mark sheets are mandatory. Once these numbers are not tallying, say for example, you are giving 20 students over here and you have only 5 letters or supporting certificates, mark sheets, then the DVV will reduce the number to 5. So when you are giving these numbers, please ensure that the corresponding supporting document is there. And the next key indicator is student participation and activities about sports and culturals and university level, national level. Always remember, if you say that X number of students have achieved, have won state competition, international or national competition, then you need to have separate scanned copies of each and every student certificate. Then only this number will be accepted by the DVV. Otherwise, if the number that you enter here and the number of certificates that is scanned and uploaded in your website, if this number is not tallying, then the DVV will reduce the number based on the number of scanned copies of certificates. Same way, national and international means whether it is really a recognized national event or an international event. Only that should be included. So when you are entering the data, please be sure that the data, whether it comes under university level or state level or national level. And institutional facilities, it is qualitative. And once again, here, if you are putting any photographs, put geotag photographs. And the next one is number of sports and cultural events. You can enter the exact number over here. And since it is quantitative, remember, it has to be entered in the data template. And next one is the alumni association. Whether you have an alumni association, whether it is registered. If it is a registered association, then a copy of the registration certificate would be required. And here, if you have the alumni, the information that you can upload is a tabular column indicating the date in which the various, indicating the date in which the alumni meet was held. And also that will be one document. And the next would be a series of photographs that were taken during the various alumni meets. So when you upload the photographs, for each and every photograph, please specify the date on which the alumni meet was arranged. Next is the alumni contribution, whether any alumni whether individually any alumni has contributed any amount of money, or whether a batch, say for example, a batch of students, say 95 passed out batch or 96 passed out batch, whether they have contributed in the form of money, or whether they have contributed in the form of, say, infrastructure equipments, computers, or research equipments, or they would have even built a separate block. Like that, if any activity has taken place, please mention that activity, and also please ensure that this amount, whichever you are saying has come from the alumni, you have to show the source of fund indicating the alumni name from which, if it is an individual contribution, continuing with from where it has come, or if it is a collective contribution, this has to be reflected in your audit statement. So the key indicators in Criterion 6 are the institutional vision and leadership, strategy development and deployment, faculty empowerment, finance, and IQAS, internal quality assurance system. So the first key point indicator under this Criterion 6 is institutional vision and leadership. So as far as Criterion 6 and 7 are concerned, most of the metrics are qualitative. So the first question is about the governance of the institution, whether it is reflective of and included with the vision and mission of the statement. So here you need to give a descriptive answer and also give a link which will take us to the vision mission of the statement, vision mission of the institution in our website. And the next question is whether the effective leadership is visible in various institutional practices such as decentralization and participative management. So when they say decentralization, what they mean is whether whether the power has been distributed at every level. Like for example, from the board of management, the academic council, the board of studies, the head of the institution, from him to the administrative side, the heads of the department or the deans of the schools, then the heads of the departments, then the faculties, whether the power distribution has been given like this. That is what they mean by decentralization. For example, as far as financial matters are concerned, there should be some financial freedom and limit up to which the HOD can be authorized to carry out some financial implications. Like say, for example, up to 5,000 rupees or up to 10,000 rupees or even up to 1,000 rupees, the HOD need not take any permission from anybody, and he can very well spend the department funds and then settle the accounts at the end of every month. Like that, if some freedom is given, then it comes under decentralization. And participative management, it is the percentage of representation from the staff members on the important decision-making committees of the institution. Like say, for example, the number of faculties who are represented in the board of management, in the academic council. This is a typical example of participative management. So that is the description that we'll be giving in the qualitative metrics. And for the file description, when you are uploading the information, the information that you would be uploading is for participative management. You can include the members list of the board of studies or the academic council, in which you can pinpoint the names of the staff members who are being represented. The next one is whether the institutional strategic plan is effectively deployed. Here again, you need to have a strategic plan document. Like for example, what is expected is every 3 years once or every 5 years once, an institution is expected to prepare a document showing a roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years and where they see themselves at the end of 5 years and how to achieve that target. That is the strategic plan. And every 6 months once or every 1 year once, this strategic plan would be reviewed and it would be measured whether the target that has been fixed at the end of the 6 months or 1 year has been achieved. That is referred to as the deployment document. This strategic plan and deployment document should be uploaded on the institution website, and the link to this should be given in this criteria. And the next question is, the functioning of the institutional bodies is effective and efficient as visible from policies, administrative setup, appointment and service rules. Here, if you remember, when we were submitting the IIQA, there was the last question that was asked in that was whether the institution has committees like women empowerment, minority cell, faculty grievance redressal cell. Like this, we had some 6 or 7 committees, and they had asked us to check whether we have those committees. So that thing would be reflected here in this 6.2.2. So once you have these institutional bodies, then the link that you will be giving over here, yes, the list, the setup of that members list of that particular committee, and appointment orders that had been issued to the members, appointing them as members of that committee, and then the book that shows the procedure and the rules and regulations that govern the functioning of that committee. Next is implementation of e-governance on areas of operation. That is, whether the administration, the finance section, all these are being automated and computerized, so that there is minimum usage of paper use and movement of files across departments, and everything is being e-managed. So it's a quantitative matrix. If you say, yes, we have all of the above, all the four means, then you have to specifically show it's a quantitative matrix, and in the data template, you will be giving the details of for administration, what is the software you are using, for finance and accounts, same way for examination and student admission. And then you should also specify the name of the vendor from which it was purchased, and also the invoices showing the proof of purchase. And while uploading the link, you will be, as given over here, the document, because every ERP would be having a preface document, a screenshot of that, and then the various the screenshots of various pages that appear in that ERP that should be scanned and uploaded. Next is faculty empowerment strategies. It is a qualitative matrix wherein the institution has to give a description of the various welfare measures like earn leave, sick leave, leave reimbursement, whether the institution is sponsoring the faculty for higher studies, whether sabbatical leave is provided, whether the institution supports the faculties for attending national, international conferences, whether the institution is supporting them to bring out their research findings in the form of paper publications or financial help for patent filing. All these come under the institute welfare measures for teaching staff. And these are the welfare measures as far as the research is and administrative setup is concerned. Also, in many institutions, the institutions provide them housing loan, personal loans, even marriage loans at very nominal interest rates, or in some cases, even interest-free loans have been given. So the documents for that would be required as backup documents for 6.3.1. So once we say that these welfare measures are available, then these should be reflected in the website of the institution. So when NAAC visits the website of the institution, on that under staff welfare schemes, it has to be mentioned to what are the various welfare schemes that are available in that particular institution. The next one is an extension of the previous welfare scheme that was discussed. So here they are asking you the proof of that. That is the number of teachers who have been provided with financial support to attend the conferences, workshops, and in case they have become members of professional bodies like IEEE, IME, like that, then whether the institution is paying the membership fees for them. So here it's a quantitative matrix, which means a standard template is available in which the data has to be entered. And it includes the name of the teacher and the name of the conference or workshop for which he attended. Now, the supporting document for that would be the attendance certificate of the teacher, the certificate which he would have got from that conference for attending that conference. That is one proof. And number two, the tickets or the train tickets or the air tickets, whether they were booked by the teacher or the institution. In case if it has been booked by the institution, then the booking document from the travel agency of the institution would be sufficient. Or in case if the teacher has booked it by himself, then how that money was reimbursed to him, the proof for that, whether it was paid by cash by means of a voucher, or whether it was transferred to the account of the teacher online, or whether a check was signed and given, that data should be uploaded. And for professional body membership also, if the membership fee was provided, the same documents, whether by cash reimbursement or check or online payment, that should be uploaded. Next is average number of professional development and administrative training programs for teaching and non-teaching staff. So for teaching staff, whether any orientation programs or faculty development programs, it can be either in-house programs that has been organized, or it can be programs organized by third parties inside the campus. So that is the data that has to be given over here. And the orientation program can be subject specific, course specific, or department specific for the faculties, or it can also be general as to personal development. And for administrative staff, what are the training programs that have been organized? This is again a quantitative matrix in which the data has to be entered, and the data would include title of the program and when was it organized, the from date and to date, and also the names of the staff members who have attended that should be recorded. The next question is average percentage of teachers undergoing faculty development programs. And both online and face-to-face programs can be included in that. It is again a quantitative matrix here. This has to be supported by the certificate of attendance of each and every staff who has attended those training programs. Like for example, for one academic year, if you are entering the number as 65, then you should have 65 certificates supporting the claim that has been made over here. Next, institutions' performance appraisal system for teaching and non-teaching. So here, many of the institutions implement academic grade pay. So the promotions and the increments are based on the academic performance of the staff. So at the end of every semester or at the end of every year, many institutions collect a self-appraisal form from the faculty, asking them to give details about the percentage of students who have passed in their course, about the research activities they have undertaken, about the consultancy projects that they have carried out, about the mentorship that they have given to the students, and any other administrative or academic responsibility that they do in addition to the teaching. So all these data should be available in the appraisal form that is being submitted by the faculty. This is the self-appraisal form, and in addition to this, there can also be an appraisal form which is called as the ACR, the Annual Confidentiality Report, which is being submitted by the head of the department on the various staffs. So next key point indicator is management and resource mobilization. So it's first one is a qualitative metrics, whether the institution is carrying out internal and external financial audits. So this would be taken care by the office section. So they will be enclosing copies of the audit reports for the last 5 financial years. Next is the funds and grants received from non-government bodies, individuals during the last 5 years. Again, this would be taken care by the finance department. And in addition to this, in case the department has received any funds from the non-government bodies, individuals, then that can also be included over here. Like as for, please remember that there is no repetition, because if you are using the amount that you give here, please be specific about whether it is included here as well as in the alumni section. So if you have shown it only in alumni section, and if that fund has been given by an individual as an alumni, then don't include it here. Or if you can include it, or if you are including it here, then you have to specify that this includes alumni also when inquired by the DVV. Next is institutional strategies for mobilization of funds and the optimal utilization of resources. So this is a qualitative metrics, that is how are the funds generated in addition to the tuition fees paid by the students. This can be in the form of research grants for research, and also in the form of revenue generated by means of consultancy projects by the staff members, also by means of sharing of the physical resources or the research resources that are available in the institution. So when the outside agencies or individuals make use of this infrastructural and research facilities of the institute and they pay the institute, that can be shown under this head. That is the mobilization of funds. And in the second session, someone was asking what about the sharing of resources. That can be shown here in this description as optimal utilization of resources. A typical example can be a central instrumentation facility available at one campus, wherein if an institution has three or four campuses, then the central instrumentation facility available in one campus can be shared and utilized effectively by the various institutions. The next on IQAS, internal quality assurance system, is whether an IQAC or any other body that controls and audits the quality assurance, whether it is present in the institution. And then you have to specify any two practices. Like say, for example, a regular academic and administrative audit is expected to be carried out by every institution. That can be shown as one example. And also any other practice that is generally done by the IQAC as a part of its, not only on the academic front, but also on the holistic front, can be included in this 6.5.1 metrics, which is a descriptive metric. The next one is the review of the TLP, teaching learning process, structures, methodologies, and operations. So this entire thing is taken care by the internal quality assurance cell. The next one is quality assurance initiatives of the institution. So, assurance initiatives of the institution. This is a quantitative metrics, whether the options that are shown over here have been done. That is regular meeting of the quality assurance cell. And next is collaborative quality initiatives, participation if you have additional ISO or NBA, that can also be shown. So depending upon the value which you chose, if you say you are doing all the above, then you need to give supporting documents for all the four, like the meeting schedules, minutes of the meetings of the IQAC. Then for NIRF, what is your NIRF ranking? The link of the MHRD website in which the institution, the name of your institution comes on directly on linking this, on clicking this link. And the ISO certification if you have, and the NBS certificates, that should also be shown. And one more point, that is that the collaborative quality initiatives with other institutions. In case if you are partnering with other institutions to carry out any, say for example, academic and administrative audit, if you are collaborating with any other university or institution to do a joint exercise, then that can be brought here under collaborative quality initiatives. So the supporting data, if you are an already NAAC accredited institute, then the first point is applicable to you. That is the annual quality assurance report, AQAR, which has been prepared and submitted. Coming to the last criteria, that is Criterion 7. The key indicators are institutional values and social responsibilities, best practices, and the distinctiveness of the institution. These are the three key indicators. So it is a qualitative metrics which asks us to elaborate on the measures initiated by the institution for the promotion of gender equity. So gender sensitization programs, if we have conducted, we have to show about that. And regarding the specific facilities, they are asking us to provide the Biblic, safety and security counseling. So in case you have counseling rooms and boys common room, girls common room, then Geotech photographs of the same. And if the institution provides daycare center for the children of the faculty, then a geotagged photograph of that should be included. With regard to safety and security, all the institutions are expected to have 24/7 security personnel going around the campus and also CCTV. Then the institution has facilities for alternate source of energy. Yes. So they have also given that solar energy, biogas plant, If your answer for that is going to be yes, then for each category, you have to have the establishment certificate, like the solar energy plant, who has established that, and whether it is being functioning properly, whether the annual maintenance is being done properly, and the maintenance certificates are filed. So those are the supporting documents which should be provided as far as this alternative source of energies are concerned. And they are also asking for the geotech photographs. If you are showing a solar power plant, then a geotech photograph of the same is to be included. Sorry, one more. For example, another in point number 4, we can say that we can see that sensor-based energy conservation. That is, say in some auditoriums or conference halls, once the conference hall is empty, once the last person leaves, then within the next 2 minutes, the entire system, all the electricity consuming devices like lights, bulbs, fans, and air conditioning will shut down automatically. That is your sensor-based energy conservation. In case you have any such infrastructure inside the campus, then a geotech photograph of the same, and also the certificate or the bill or invoice generated by that company who established that sensor-based energy conservation system in the institution, that has to be scanned and uploaded. Next is the qualitative metrics. Describe the facilities in the institution for the management of degradable and non-degradable waste. This is especially in the case of medical colleges and dental colleges, health science institutions. So how they are disposing of the waste. Also, generally, solid waste management. Here I have another question. Says, okay, fine, it has. Action taken report mandatory for all the decisions taken by the IQAC. Here, one thing that we have to understand is whenever a meeting is being conducted, always the first point would be an agenda of the meeting, and the next point would be the action taken, the minutes of the meeting of the previous minutes of the meeting of the previously completed meeting would be the first point, and the next point would be the action taken report. So pretty obviously, whenever it is a recurring meeting, the action taken report is mandatory. I think I have answered your question, Professor Renuka Devi, madam. So that is about the solid waste management, the license that they have procured for disposing of the waste, and the e-waste management, how the institution is managing that in case all the electronics and the computer hardware related, if it is given away as junk, how it is being properly disposed. That point should be elaborated here in the qualitative metrics. And the next point is water conservation facilities like rainwater harvesting, borewell, tanks. So for all of this, you will require geotagged photographs of the facilities. Then green campus initiatives, it's a quantitative metrics. So the number of check boxes that you check over here, the corresponding geotagged photographs of every box should be uploaded. And the next one is a quantitative metrics again, quality audits, green audit, energy audit, environment audit, and whether the institution has won any awards on clean and green campus. For example, AICT every year, it awards the top 10 institutes in the country, top 10 professional institutes, AICT approved institutes in the country with a clean and green campus award. So for every box that you check over here, you have to give the green audit. Once you check green audit and energy audit, the green audit report for the last 5 years, the energy audit report for the last 5 years, and the action taken report based on that should be uploaded. And whether the institution has disabled friendly, barrier free environment, ramps, lifts, disabled friendly washrooms. So here you will require the geotagged photographs, and in case if around the institution, if you have any policy document that is being put over there, that should be also included. And one more thing that they have given us, details of the software procured for providing the assistance. That is in case someone came with a question which I couldn't read now. Mr. Ravin, I'll come to that later. It has been, it's gone away from my screen. For example, is there any assistive technology and facilities for persons with disabilities for accessing website and screen reading software, that is for persons with vision impairment, whether we have any facilities like that. If there is any facility, then that has to be uploaded over here. On the next metric, which is again qualitative, institutional efforts in providing an inclusive environment, tolerance, harmony towards cultural, regional, linguistic. So if you conduct any cultural program wherein all the students who come over there from various regional, cultural, and economical backgrounds, where they mingle, then the photographs taken at that time can be shown as the documentary evidence for answering this. Point number 7.1.8. And regarding 7.1.9, about the programs that have been conducted for the students and employees, sensitizing them on the values, rights, duties. So whether the program was conducted in-house or in participating collaboration with any third party, then the list of activities should be written as a tabular column and uploaded, and also any photographs that were taken at that time or any MOUs that were entered into the third parties for conducting the same, that should be uploaded. And the code of conduct for students, teachers, and staffs, whether it is displayed on the website. Most of the institutions have a service rule book for their employees. Also, the curriculum book is issued to the students, which also includes the code of conduct that is expected of the student inside and outside the campus during his course of study. And if the institution organizes any regular annual awareness programs, that should also be included. And next is about celebrating national and international commemorative days. For example, International Yoga Day was celebrated recently online this year, and in the previous years it was conducted within the campus. That is a typical example of national and international commemorative days. Also, Teachers' Day, Engineers' Day, Doctors' Day. If the institute celebrates such days, then that should be included over here. And the next one is about the best practice. This is the institution distinctiveness. Any two best practices successfully implemented by the institution as per NAAC format. So if you remember at the beginning of the session itself in the morning, we said that we have to download the manuals for the institute under which category we fall. So in that NAAC manual, we will be given the format for specifying the best practice. So whatever be the two best practices that your institution follows, that should be elaborated in the format in a descriptive answer for this metric. So that format is: what is the title of the practice, what are the objectives, context. So it's given here in detail. So the performance of the institutions in one area, that is here, you can indicate how you are better than your peers, why your institution is more sought after than the competitors in and around your vicinity. So that key point which attracts the student, which gives the students an edge over their peers who are studying in other institutions, it should be given over here in a descriptive manner. Now here there is no specific format for this. Only thing is this can be verified when the committee visits over here, or if the DVV asks for some supportive document like photographs or any proofs for this in any other form, then that has to be provided. There is no specific format for quality metric number 7.3.1.